네, 안녕하세요. 지금부터 국립현대미술관 베를린 포럼익스펜디드 MMCA의 개막식을 시작하도록 하겠습니다. 오늘 여러 가지 어려운 상황에서 개막식에 찾아주신 내빈 여러분께 진심으로 감사의 말씀드리겠습니다. 저는 국립현대미술관 서울관 전시기획 팀장 김장훈입니다.
Welcome to the opening ceremony of the Berlinale Forum Expanded MMCA. I would like to thank all of you for coming despite the circumstances of the country. And the gentleman next to me is Mr. Chang-won Kim, who is part of the exhibition team of MMCA.
먼저 국립현대미술관 서울관 운영부장이신 이지윤 부장님의 인사 말씀 읽겠습니다.
First, we'd like to welcome Director Lee Ji-yoon of Mmca Seoul.
안녕하세요. 안녕하세요. 우리 좀 따뜻한 분위기를 좀 같이 풀고 우리의 이 축하를 하기 위해서 인사를 두 번 드렸습니다. 오늘 이렇게 와주신 여러분들께 다시 한번 감사드립니다. Mmca 필름앤비디오라는 이름으로 저희가 이렇게 현대 영상 예술의 탐구의 확장을 노력하는 시작을 지난 1년 반 동안 진행해 왔습니다. 아시겠지만 대한민국에 이렇게 좋은 영상 예술을 소개할 수 있는 이런 영화관 같은 기능이 있는 곳이 많이 없는데요. 그런 맥락에서 저희가 이런 곳을 보유하고 또한 영화 큐레이터가 함께 일하는 이런 공간이 있음에 매우 기쁘게 생각합니다. 이번에 시작하는 베를린 포럼 익스펜디드 앤 MMCA 이 프로그램은 아시겠지만 독일의 1936년부터 시작한 영화와 현대 영상 예술이 같이 연구하는 아스날이라는 기관, 아시겠지만 Institute for Film and Video Art라는 기관과 함께 공동으로 협력해서 만든 프로그램입니다. 정말 베를린 포럼 익스펜디드는 우리 올리와 나나 큐레이터께서 단지 10년밖에 안 된 프로그램이라고 저에게 소개를 해줬습니다. 베를린 필름 페스티벌의 일환으로 있는 베를린 포럼 익스펜디드가 5명의 큐레이터의 협력으로 해서 지금까지 10년을 해왔고 또 저희와 이번에 함께 공동 기획을 하게 돼서 매우 다시 기쁘게 생각하고 저희가 프로그램이 굉장히 다채롭게 이 북렛에 준비가 되어 있습니다. 많은 참여 부탁드리고 앞으로의 추가적인 더 많은 협력을 기대합니다. 감사합니다.
이지윤 부장님께서 이번 프로그램에 대해서 MMCA 필름앤비디오와 아스날의 공동기획 프로그램이라는 말씀해 주셨는데 오늘 이 자리에 아스날의 베를린 포럼 익스펜디드의 두 큐레이터 분이 오셨습니다. 그래서 다음도 독일 필름앤비디오 아트 연구소의 아스날의 큐레이터 리 지문수와 나나 하든리의 이번 프로그램에 대한 소개가 있습니다.
Good afternoon. Is this on? Right. Yeah. Thank you very much for coming. It's great to see so many people here. My name is Uli Ziemons. I am a member of the curatorial team of Forum Expanded, and I've been a member of that team since 2008. We would like to begin by thanking the MMCA for inviting us, especially Lee Ji-yoon, Kim Young-un, Kim Eun-hee, and Jun Sam-yong, who have been coordinating all this for the invitation and the opportunity to present the selection of films. It's really a great honor and a pleasure to be here, and we are very much looking forward to the upcoming screenings and discussions. Thank you as well to the Goethe Institute for their generous support, especially Dr. Stefan Dreyer, Dr. Rainer Volker, and Ming Huang Hu, who is also here.
And as you may have guessed, my name is Nana Heiderich, and I've been with Forum Expanded since 2007. And as is the tradition with Forum Expanded, I would also like to thank the filmmakers and artists for their inspiration and dedication and for letting us show their works. And I think there's also a number of artists and filmmakers here in the audience, and I'm very happy about that. And this gratitude also extends to the audience, that is to you, for participating in the screenings with us. It is you who make cinema and art come to life. It is an especially big pleasure for us to be invited into such a vibrant art context as exists in Seoul. And we are very much looking forward to exchanging ideas and learning from cultural producers here in Korea.
So to give you a little bit of an idea what Forum Expanded is, Forum Expanded is a program at the Berlin International Film Festival, which takes place every February in Berlin. It was founded in 2006, so this year we celebrated our 10th anniversary. In the years leading up to the program's creation, more and more works had been submitted to the Berlinale, which were not necessarily made for a presentation in a cinema, but they called for a different presentation, for example, in an installation format. So that was something that was quite unusual in the context of the film festival at the time. So with Forum Expanded, a place was created for these works within the festival. And the program began incorporating gallery and site-specific exhibitions, stage performances, alongside cinematic works of all lengths and formats in its program. In 2006, we started with a very modest selection of 11 works exhibited in a gallery space. And since then, Forum Expanded has grown exponentially. It has moved through the city of Berlin, and it has used different established art and theater spaces, but it also created its own venues. For example, we used a defunct church for our exhibition, we used a former crematorium, or we even showed installations in a swimming pool. So since the beginning, one could say that the driving force of Forum Expanded has been the exploration of spaces beyond the cinema. But that does not mean that the program wants to leave the cinema behind. Quite on the contrary, our work and our program are deeply rooted in the ever-evolving history of cinema, constantly circling back to the space in which it all began and in which we are also getting together today. Our aim is to broaden and redefine what cinema can be. We want our audience to see and experience cinema as if for the first time, with each screening, each exhibition, each performance. Over the course of the last 10 years, Forum Expanded has presented more than 400 films, videos, installations, and performances in the cinema, in exhibitions, and on stage. In those 10 years, the program has become a key feature of the Berlinale Festival and a premier showcase of experimental moving image work that negotiates the boundaries between cinematic and artistic contexts of production and reception in the international festival circuit. The program is curated by a group of 5 people, apart from Nana and me. These are Bettina Steinbrügge and the 2 founders of Forum Expanded, Stefanie Schulte-Strathaus and Anselm Franke. For the program at MMCA, Nana and I selected 24 short and long films, which will be presented in 10 programs over the next weeks here. The films stem from all 10 years of our programming. Some of them were initially presented as installations. For many of them, this program marks their Korean premiere. 24 works can, of course, only present a small insight into the vast variety of productions that have been part of Forum Expanded over all this time. We hope, however, that each work selected for Berlinale Forum Expanded at MMCA will open up possibilities and hint at connections with and affinities to other practices, to other artists and genres, other scenes, discourses, and politics.
And we open the program today with 2 films which are connected to the city where we come from Berlin, and its transnational ties. We begin with a short video by Ayşe Ekmen called Coffee. And since Berlin counts as the largest Turkish city outside of Turkey, it seems appropriate to begin with a Turkish-German artist. Ayşe Ekmen is known mainly for her fine arts practice, especially with sculpture. With Coffee, she realized one of her few video works. It is a conversation with Fatih Özgüven, one of Turkey's most prominent film critics and journalist who writes a column for the daily newspaper Radikal. Shot in Istanbul, where Özgüven reads Ekmen's coffee grinds in his apartment, the video is an astute and hilarious construction, or rather reconstruction, of the cinematic space. It begins with MGM Studios' growling lion, reenacted by a not-so-wild but equally hairy dog. From there, it unfolds into its assortment of obscure characters, objects, events, rumors, and gossip by the sheer power of storytelling, projection, and vision. Coffee was shown in 2007, which was also, as I said, my first year with Forum Expanded. The film is followed by Isabel Spender's Father, Mother, What Should I Film Today?
This too is a film which is about the possibilities of fabulation and imagination, of the projective and world-making capacities of the poetic, and also about how funny conceptual art can. As Aisha Erkman, Isabel Spengler is also a Berlin-based artist. She studied in Berlin as well as in Los Angeles, and her background is in cinema proper. Her early works were all or mostly shot on 16mm or on Super 8. In fact, the Super 8 practice was connected to a whole conceptual approach written down in the Holiday Movies Initiative Manifesto, which stated that making films should be an integral part of your life. So whatever you want to be doing in your life while working on a film should become part of the film, not the other way around. In the past decade or so, Isabel Spengler has worked mostly with installations as well as photography. Some of her works are collaborations with the French-German performance artist and choreographer Antonia Baer, with whom she grew up in Berlin and in the south of France, and who you can also see in the film which we present today. In Father, Mother, What Should I Film Today? Isabel Spengler responded to her parents' incessant call and demand to film something for them. She turned this into a formal concept. While she was visiting them at their vacation home in France, where they were working in their garden, her father and mother would call out to her at least 5 times a day. Isabel, quick, there's a praying mantis, a snail, a flower, etc. You have to film that. Provoked by this very different idea of how to make films, she took these never-ending interpellations and the family relations literally. She invited her parents to tell her exactly what she should film, and then she made some of these wishes come true. Father, Mother, What Should I Film Today? Juxtaposes her parents' descriptions of imagined films with Isabel's own translations into actual film. It is a part of a series of experiments Isabel Spengler conducted with visual description carried out between friends, relatives, and the public, between filmmakers, interpreters, and the audience. It is a work by an artist who manages to reinvent formal and structural filmmaking and conceptual art with a Baroque imaginary, with abundant aesthetics and playful unhinging of cinematic relations. And, as Isabel herself said about the film, it is also the portrait of a passionate relationship to the image of nature. As you can guess, we Germans love text, but this is the end now. And before I hand over to the projectionists and you, the audience, I would like to thank the translators and the technical staff who produced the subtitles for all the films and who facilitate our communication today and in the coming screenings. And I promise we will not always be that lengthy. So now, enjoy the screenings. Oh no, I think anyone, you were doing
관련된 대략적인 소개와 개막작에 대해서 좀 말씀드렸는데요. 다음으로 mmca필름앤비디오 담당 큐레이터 김학영 목사의 짧은 프로그램을 소개하겠습니다.
네, 안녕하세요. 일단 올리와 나나가 저희 mmca필름앤비디오 아스날에서 있는 크리에이터와 함께 이렇게 좋은 프로그램을 만드시게 돼서 굉장히 기쁘게 생각하고요. 개막자 관련해서는 나나가 굉장히 자세하게 설명을 잘 해주셔서 딱히 제가 더 설명할 부분이 있을 것 같지는 않지만 일단 이 개막작으로 선정한 것은 어떻게 보면 저희 mmca필름앤비디오 측이 선정을 한 팀이거든요. 그 이유는 일단 처음 보시게 될 컵이라는 작품을 보시는 좀 되게 약간 당황하실 부분도 있어요. 그러니까 우리가 알고 있는 영화적인 어떤 완성도라든가 또는 뭐 이렇게 의미를 부여하게 하는 그런 것들을 벗어난 그런 작품입니다. 그러니까 그냥 일상의 표현만을 이렇게 아무렇지도 않게 보여주는데 그게 어떻게 보면 굉장히 가볍고 싱거울 수 있는 그런 장면들이거든요. 그렇지만 어떻게 보면 또 우리의 표정을 벗어나게 하는 것을 우회적으로 보여주고 있다고 해석할 수 있는 그런 영화이고요. 그러니까 그 아이샤 에프만의 커피에 이어서 이자벨 슈팅블러 감독의 어머니 아버지 어떤 영화를 만들까요? 라는 영화가 이어서 상영될 텐데요. 이 작품은 보시면 아시겠고 또 나나가 자세히 설명했지만은 어떻게 보면 누구나 영화를 꿈꾸고 있는 그런 이미지의 조각들을 재구성한 것 같은 그런 작품이고, 영화는 아는 사람만, 전문가만이 만들 수 있는 게 아니라 평범한 사람들도 영화적인 어떤 도전을 해볼 수 있지 않을까 하는 그런 용기를 주는 굉장히 발랄한 상상력을 가진 그런 영화입니다. 그래서 저희 개막작에 어울리는 작품이라고 생각을 했고요. 또 아까 난다가 얘기했던 컨셉처럼 아트라는 측면이 저희 이번 베를린 포럼익스펜디드 MCA의 전편의 그 모든 작품들을 일관되는 그런 특징이 될 것 같습니다. 그래서 이번 작품 소개되는 작품들을 보고 가지고 계신 의문 또 영화적 질문들은 6월 13일이죠. 토요일 5시에 저희 이장소에서 포럼이 열리거든요. 그때 오셔서 이렇게 함께 생각을 공유할 수 있는 그런 시간이 될 수 있을 것 같습니다. 그때 많은 참석 부탁드리고요. 즐거운 감상 되시길 바랍니다.
이제 개막작 상영이 있겠습니다. 97년도 민스터 조각 프로젝트에서 가장 중요한 작가로 주목받았던 에어크만의 그 작품이 이제 개막작으로 선정돼서 저 역시 기대가 크고요. 즐거운 관람 되시기 바라고 이것으로 이제 개막식 관련된 공식 행사를 마치도록 하겠습니다.
Did you make a wish?
Not really.
Okay.
Day before yesterday.